Hey, how's it going, everybody, and welcome back. This is Old School Gamer here. We are back again with another video today. So the Nintendo PlayStation is a prototype of a console that Nintendo and also Sony was working on back in the late 80s to the early 90s, I believe, before they actually separated and created their own consoles and actually became rivals. And in 2015, a guy named Terry Diebold actually found this console in the attic of his house and actually had his son post up a few pictures of it on the internet. So if you guys actually want to read all that out, I will have the link down there at the very bottom of the description, so you guys just check that out. And I will have links to all the other sources that I used too. But here recently, Terry Diebold actually lent out his Nintendo PlayStation to a guy named Ben Heckendorn. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. And just the other day, Ben and his team actually got the system to run and actually run a few games on it. Well, cartridge games, not disc-based games, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. So since there's actually no games actually made for the console, Ben actually went out on the internet and actually asked a few people who actually make a bunch of homebrews to actually make a homebrew game for the Nintendo PlayStation. And one of the games that he received, which is actually called Magic Floor. And at first the game didn't really work because the game was actually buggy on the development side, so he actually got back with the developer of the game and actually got him to change a bunch of code and actually fix the game up a little bit to actually run properly. And now he actually got the game to actually run pretty well, properly, with no bugs at all, so except for the bugs on the console, because he is working out the console still. But Ben and his team actually uploaded a video up on their YouTube channel. I believe it's on their YouTube channel. I have a link to it down in the description below. It's be at the very top. But they uploaded a video, like a 13-minute long video up on there, about how they actually worked on the PlayStation, the Nintendo PlayStation, and actually found out how it ran. But Ben actually came across something that he called a mystery chip, which is actually a switchboard that actually allows the chip to send information to different type of components all over the motherboard. And I'll actually play a clip of how Ben actually explains it, because I believe he'll explain it a lot more better than I do, because I don't know absolutely anything about this type of stuff. I'm not that tech savvy, if that's actually what you call it, but I'm not too familiar with all that, so I'm gonna let Ben explain it.
I've been doing some mapping of the schematic, and I think I know what this mystery chip does. It's probably some sort of bus, well, not really a bus arbiter, but it's probably a bus location decoder chip. So I've noticed that someone has mapped out what registers you send data to off the expansion port. So I think what this chip does, it says, oh, you sent, such and such a register, then I'll let you talk to this chip, or I'll let you talk to this chip, or I'll let you talk to the thing on the CD-ROM's LCD. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue mapping out this chip. I've got it about halfway, and that will help me solve some of the mysteries, and it'll give me more points from which I can test things.
That's pretty cool. I can't really give you guys any more information on that, because like I said, I'm not too familiar with all that. But actually, the scene right after that played, it actually had Ben starting to talk about how he was starting to work on the disk drive, and how the day before the disk drive wouldn't work, and when he came back, he messed with it a little bit, and then all of a sudden, the disk drive just started to randomly work. But it could only read audio CDs, like music CDs. Like if you go to Walmart and buy like an Ice Cube CD or something like that and throw it into the Nintendo PlayStation, it would only read that and only play music from it. So at this very point, they couldn't get Magic Floor to actually run, because they actually burned Magic Floor into a CD-ROM, like a CD-ROM. So they couldn't get that to work at the very moment. And here's a clip of how Ben actually explained how he actually got the disk drive to work and how he actually came across it.
Okay, so this is weird. I was working on this yesterday, and the CD-ROM wasn't even detecting the disk. I came in this morning and jiggled the cables around and got ready to work on it some more. And all of a sudden it works. Because I was looking at it on the scope, I was looking at the signals coming off of the CD-ROM, then I connected it to the DAC, and I saw there was a lot more solid signals, and I'm like, oh, I should plug in my headphones, and yeah, it's, well, I'll probably get a copyright flag for this, but that's weird, because I was just, what changed? Is it like a magical elf coming overnight? Maybe these ribbon cables have some issues. That could be part of it. I should maybe double check that and see if I can get replacements. But what I have learned by reading all the documents is this. So there's a CD-ROM controller chip, and then there's a digital signal processor, and then there's also a microcontroller here on this board. So when the system is not in game mode, this microcontroller tells the CD-ROM controller, which is on the motherboard, not on the CD-ROM, it tells it what to do, such as play music and whatnot. And yeah, at the moment, it's working. I did put that cap on. There was one bad cap there. I can't imagine that would have made that much of a difference. Okay, now we're gonna try some modern hipster music. Mumford & Sons, Sigh No More. Okay. I still don't know why this is working. Okay, 12 tracks, 48 minutes. Does that sound about right? Yeah, there's a bit of a glitch. Like it played the first track, then it skipped, and then it resumed. So I think it might still be a little off. It sounds like coffee shop music. Yeah, all 12 tracks play. See if we can turn it to shuffle mode. Shuffle mode. Okay, for some reason it's working now. I'm gonna check the ribbon cables. They might have something to do with it, although I don't know why they would have been really damaged. They've just been sitting around for 20 years. I'm also gonna go in and take measurements from the 3 potentiometers on the driver board for the disc, just to make sure we know what the working number is, and then we can tweak it a little bit further. There were a few tracks on the newer CD by Mumford & Sons. Well, there's one track where it was like it skipped a little bit, but then it found its footing. There is like 32K of RAM in the controller chip, which is jitter control. That's what they would do back in the day. Like if you had the Discman, it had basically a buffer in it. So if you were like jogging or something, or like counting your money in the 80s in your corporate office because you're Gordon Gekko, it would, it was basically a skip buffer. But then once we have the drive consistent, then I can try to re-enable the CD-ROM system to see if we can get the CD-ROM bootstrap program on this cartridge to actually load a game. And we have that Super Boss Gaiden, or Gaiden. Yeah, it's not Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden. Because when in the 80s we called it Ninja Gaiden, but it's Gaiden. All right, well, I'm gonna just check a few more things with this, get the pot adjustments, and then we can try to get it to boot.
That's pretty cool. There's also some gameplay of him playing Magic Floor. I couldn't really make out of what the game is like. It looks like some type of maze type game. I don't really know, some type of pattern maze type game. I can't really explain it. I don't know what the game is really about, what the game is like. I believe he explained it there. I don't really remember what he said about it, but there is gameplay of it if you want to watch it. So the disc drive actually works now, and it can actually play Magic Floor. So now Ben has gotten everything to work and run properly on the Nintendo PlayStation, and he did say somewhere in the video that now it is all up to the homebrew developers to start creating games for the Nintendo PlayStation console. So now it is all up to you homebrew guys to start creating games for this Nintendo PlayStation. But he did also mention somewhere in there, like he did make a little statement, that he said that Terry should loan out the console to some type of emulator writer so he could actually take a look at the console and see how it actually runs and performs, so he can actually make a great, perfect working, running emulators for everybody to download and actually try out the Nintendo PlayStation. Try out emulator wise, not actually try out the Nintendo PlayStation. The closest way you can get to try out the Nintendo PlayStation 3 emulator. So he thinks that would be a good idea, and honestly, I agree with him. I think it would be a good idea for Terry to loan out the Nintendo PlayStation to an emulator writer, but I can understand why he wouldn't, for, trust reasons, like, hey, I don't really know you, but I can understand why he wouldn't want to do that. But I do wonder if anybody will even ever come across any type of game that was actually developed for the Nintendo PlayStation by Nintendo or Sony, because I think that would be kind of cool, and what kind of games they actually did have planned for it, like what kind of game they were actually testing out on it to see if it would work. I even wonder if there even is any games that was even created for it. I'd imagine it was. There was a cartridge and also a CD-ROM that was in the disc whenever he did find it in his attic. Terry, whenever he found it in his attic, there was a cartridge on there that had some type of numbers and also some Japanese writing, and I don't know what was on the disc. I don't think that was even explained, if there even was a disc with it, if I'm just talking shit right now. But really, other than that, I'm just going to end off the video there. There's really nothing else for me to talk about. Well, I didn't really get all the information in, of course, because this would be a really long video if I did get all the information in. So I did leave some things out, but I did get most of the important information out there. So like I said, I'm ending off the video there. If you guys liked it, don't forget to like, maybe subscribe if you feel like I'm worthy enough. And as always, do not forget to put your thoughts and comments down in the comment section below. What do you guys think about the Nintendo PlayStation? Do you guys wish you could have a copy of the Nintendo PlayStation yourselves like I do? I wish I could have a copy of it, but there was actually, here's the fact, there was actually 200 of the Nintendo PlayStations that were actually made, but they were all ordered to be destroyed. But somehow this one actually made it, and I will have the link down there in the description below of how Terry actually first came across the Nintendo PlayStation. So if you guys do want to come across that, read that, learn about that, link down in the description below. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good day, night, afternoon, whatever time you guys are watching this. And as always, keep it old school, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later, and as always, thank you for watching.